Hello and welcome everyone. You are watching yet another episode of Beyond the Boundary on TOI Sports. As promised, we are back and today we'll be discussing day 3 of India New Zealand test in Bengaluru. First day was washed out due to rain. The second morning, Rohit Sharma elected to bat first. It backfired, shot out for 46, but today was the fight back which was needed to stay alive in the test. At least I'm still not jumping the gun and talking about the greatest fight back ever, which is being talked about on social media. So I welcome Chetan Narlua, Dwaipan Datta, and Nitin Nayak to discuss what unfolded in Bengaluru today. So first things first, I'll start with Nitin. Nitin, what do you make of the day? Starting with Rachin Ravindra's 100, I think that kind of set the tone of the day that it's going to be a good day for batting. And what happened in India's second innings kind of followed that. Rohit, Yashasvi getting starts, then Sarfaraz and Virat Kohli doing that towards the end with that fluent stand. But an unfortunate end to the partnership last ball of the day, and Virat Kohli was dismissed by Glenn Phillips. So your thoughts on the day? Nitin, you're mute. You need to unmute.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Sorry about that. 450 runs nearly plus 10 wickets. You couldn't really ask for more. But I think Rohit kind of erred in waiting for that new ball and holding Bumrah back once I think India had got those 4 early wickets. I think he could have. I think he was probably thinking a bit too far ahead and about preserving Bumrah instead of going for Bumrah and maybe intimidating Tim Southee a little bit and getting him out. And I think those extra runs from Rachin and Southee in the end really hurt India. But again, in terms of the batting, it was redemption after the ruins of yesterday. Almost, brilliant batting by Rohit, by Sarfaraz, by Virat. Almost an anticlimactic end in the. I thought that the rush two of the penultimate ball kind of took his concentration away. And once I think you start playing for survival, I think that
Yeah.
thing is always there in the back of your mind that okay, one mistake and he had a close shave with one that drifted away and landed short of or almost landed into the palms of Ijaz Patel, which he missed that slip. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, Tom Blundell got his gloves to that feather that he got.
No, Dwayne very rightly mentioned redemption after the ruins, but it could have been a far worse story in the first session. The way I just want you to touch on the fact the way Rachin Ravindra and Tim Southee counter-attacked there. The first session, the run rate was over 5, and if I remember correctly, the last four overs before lunch conceded as close to 58 or 59 runs. I don't exactly remember the figure, but they really came hard at India in that morning session. So, what do you make of India's bowling first, and then we'll touch batting in detail? But to start with, what are your thoughts? Did we let Kiwis off the hook, and there was that opportunity to probably tie them down, and we gave far too many runs for our liking to the likes of Ravindra and Tim Southee, where we could have contained them.
See, we started off well in the when it started. We started off well. We took the early wickets that were needed, and we were right on the money. So the start was all fine, but then, as you were saying, just when the runs started flowing, because this lead was growing so fast, there is that sense of helplessness suddenly was creeping in. You could see in Rohit's body language that he was shrugging his shoulders. He wasn't the captain that he normally is. So there was this element of helplessness coming in because he has the pitch in mind. The At the back of his mind, the pitch was playing because it is a very difficult pitch, and uh, batting later on is going to be very difficult. So as the lead was mounting, he thought probably 225, 200, 225 was the maximum. When we had those 4 wickets, really thought that we could keep them within 200 or 225 as we were discussing yesterday. But then Rachin Ravindra actually has prepared very well for this series. He's a very brainy cricketer. He was here in Chennai preparing for uh, for this series. He had a long preparation. He played spinners, and he's normally a very good player. He's probably their best batter coming up after Kane Williamson. Like he's really good. He has those qualities of a player who can play on subcontinent pitches. He knows how to play spin. Like when you saw Glenn Phillips, he was a sitting duck. Jadeja will get him in 3 balls any time of the day with no defense at all. But this guy is different. This guy has that classical approach to his batting, and he can attack, he can defend, and he brought all those things into play as he as he played along. It was a terrific innings, one of the best innings that I have seen by a foreign player in India in a while, like on a pitch like that. And the only thing which probably was slightly easier because he had a about a 170 180 run cushion. By then they had got about a 200 run lead, so that pressure on the mind was less, so he could be slightly free. And as Nitin rightly pointed out, that the it was new ball
Yeah.
was probably slightly delayed and all those things. But given the fact, he was quite outstanding, and he brought all those preparations that he had done over the months into play. And at the Rachin Ravindra's cricket shows that cultured cricket still has its value. Like you can
Yeah.
attack, that is all fine, but if you are cultured, if you know how to play, if you know how to defend, you can get runs on Indian conditions, and that is the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting that you mentioned Rachin Ravindra was preparing in Chennai. Ejaz Patel, as our ace reporter Gaurav Gupta did a story, was in the Maidans of Mumbai rolling his arm over before the series got underway. But Chetan, our friends from the Indian cricket team decided not to play the Dilip Trophy. We have discussed at length about that. But your thoughts on the day, now that you have stable internet connection, your thoughts on the day's play, especially the fight back, which everyone is going gaga about on social media. The job's still not done, right? New Zealand still have that upper hand, and they're like one collapse away from putting India on the mat again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The mind goes back to 2012. जो स्टैट निकल के आया है कि इतना टाइम हो गया है, 12 साल हो गए हैं कि कोई भी किसी भी टीम ने इतनी बड़ी लीड नहीं ली है इंडियन सॉइल पे. 200 प्लस रन लीड इन अ होम टेस्ट, इंडिया गिविंग अवे. That's something that you don't hear about too often. Um, just goes to show कि इंडिया ने कितना गलत पढ़ा था पिच को. And of course, how they batted, shot selection and everything. 46 all out, nothing home to write about, nothing home to discuss about anymore. But आज हम फाइट बैक की बात कर रहे हैं. द फाइट बैक डिडंट कम फ्रॉम द bowling यार. I'll be very honest. I didn't see. ठीक है, you got them down to where you wanted, but India has always struggled with that lower order. And you had somebody like a Rachin Ravindra who was there, who was stitching that partnership. जब वो लोग अटैक पर गए हैं, as Gopayan said, I have never seen Rohit this clueless, this frustrated, कि जो भी वो करने की कोशिश कर रहा था वो नहीं हो रहा था. So as a captain, जहां हम कानपुर में कह रहे थे ना कि this is the defining moment of रोहित शर्मा's टेस्ट कैप्टनसी, एक टेस्ट मैच बाद ही आप थोड़ा सा नीचे आ गए हो. ठीक है, this game is a huge leveler in that sense. So I thought that was ordinary captaincy. That was a very ordinary passage of play. 46 ऑल आउट से इंडिया बैकफुट पे तो आ गई थी. बट आई थिंक जो आज हमने बॉलिंग की है, स्पेशली अगेंस्ट दैट लोअर ऑर्डर, दोज easily, जैसे कह रहे हैं ना, अलका चौधरी हैज जॉइंड अस एंड शी सेज इंडिया गेव अवे 100 रन्स एक्स्ट्रा. आई एब्सोल्युटली अग्री विद दिस. 100 रन्स हमने बहुत आसानी से एक्स्ट्रा से दिए हैं. दैट स्वेल द लीड जस्ट टू मच. And yeah, I think the fight back is there. It's good to see runs from both Sarfaraz and Virat. They were out to ducks in the first innings, but yeah, this test match is only going in one direction. अभी आपको एक्स्ट्रा रन्स बनाने हैं, फिर आपको लीड लेनी है. अनलेस एंड अंटिल वी सी something like Kolkata 2001, batting entire day, and I think it was a big blow for Virat Kohli to get out on the last ball. So
Yeah.
from that perspective, आप कितना भी fight back कर लो, this match is going only in one direction. So we didn't really back up that 46 all out with a bowling performance, and yeah, it's going to cost us.
Yeah, rightly said, Chetan and Nitin. I'll just come to you on that only. That passage of play where spin dominated from both ends, and Rachin Ravindra, Tim Saudi were enjoying flexing their batting muscle, and it takes me back to that Dharmshala ODI where India played New Zealand. I know those are different formats, but that Daryl Mitchell counter attack, the memories are still fresh. The way he took down Kuldeep Yadav in that game. I think similar approach was taken. They didn't allow the Indian spinners to settle down. They didn't allow them to dominate, and the economy rates, if we can have the scorecard up, they're over 5 for Ashwin and Kuldeep, and Jadeja has always an under 5, but you don't always see Ashwin going at over 5 and over. So what really went wrong? Was it some defensive bowling by both Ashwin or Kuldeep, or was it not using a fast bowler from the other end? What actually transpired as per you, and what sense did you make of the way they operated in that passage of play?
I think as Dwaipan said, they were already 170, 180 runs ahead, and that gave them kind of a license to then go for their shots. And once you one because you are trying to search for wickets. Once you go in search of wickets, you're bound to give away that ball which can be attacked. And I think both Ashwin and Kuldeep were trying for that wicket delivery, which both Saudi and some of the shots that Rachin Ravindra and Saudi connected, they were actually of
Yeah,
good balls.
exceptional.
uh,
Yeah, good
and
shots too.
and they were good shots. I mean, they were not poor deliveries as such, but they just
Yeah,
brilliant preparation, as Vaipan brilliantly pointed out, and kudos to them. I mean, it's just that at that time you needed a pace spin combination. Jadeja
yeah,
creating that pressure at the other end. You needed one more bowler to bowl a little more, bowl dry kind of, like an Ishant Sharma kind of a spell, where you can really bowl dry and contain the
yeah.
runs, which unfortunately did not happen.
No, it brings me to a very interesting question, and I'll put all three of you in a spot there. I know it's day three, we still shouldn't be discussing the playing 11, but now that we have seen both sides bat on the surface in different periods, yes, day one, first morning, was a completely different setting altogether. But now, when you look back at the game, 90 overs New Zealand faced. Dwaipan, first I'll come to you, then Chetan, then Nitin. Do you still feel that three spinners were the way forward on a surface like this? Why I say that? Because as much as I have seen captains handling three spinners, not every captain has come out with flying colors. The handling of three spinners, I think, is a art. Is definitely a different kind of art form. I don't really feel a lot of captains have enjoyed operating with three spinners. So what do you make of that? Because all three kind of bowled a lot. So was Rohit kind of in a spot there handling his three spinners with just the two pacers, or was he better off having a combination of three quicks and two spinners on this track? Now that we have seen three days of cricket, Dwaipan, I'll first come to you on that.
देखो three pacers would have been good if India was uh, like bowling first. Then probably it would have been, it could have been good. I don't, but on that pitch, because it was so dry underneath, then the obvious choice was to go with three spinners. Like three spinners against Sena teams in the subcontinent has been our tried and tested policy for a very long time now. So there was really no need to change that. Yes, it so happened that we read the pitch
Yeah,
wrong, and that was a mistake. But because as you will see, if it comes to the uh, uh, fourth innings, and there is a target of around 125, 130 for New Zealand, then these
yeah,
spinners will wreak havoc. Like
yeah.
Bumrah and the spinners will bowl. Bumrah and
No, very,
Jadeja will
very,
start,
very,
and
very interesting
and
point you've mentioned. You've
yeah,
mentioned a very interesting point there, Bumrah and the spinners, because you haven't mentioned Mohammad Siraj, and that was going to be a next question to Chetan Narula. As Reet Savla just mentioned, Mohammad Siraj over Akashdeep. Did you make sense of it, Chetan? Or is it the Bangalore connection? They wanted the RCB fellow to play in with the red ball because he dons the red jersey so
I
often.
No, no, I don't think it's the RCB connection. I think that's not the case. आप ये connections बना के team नहीं select कर सकते हो. I think there were there were a couple of things that were kept in mind when selecting this playing 11. पहली बात तो जैसा हमने कहा कि it was raining on the first couple of days, and yes, they took a look at the pitch, but they were not really serious. कल रोहित शर्मा ने कहा है press conference में that he made a mistake in reading the pitch, but reading the conditions really, whether win the toss and bat first, or at the same time आप अपनी combination जो बना रहे हो. I think India has an eye on the tour of Australia. Let's be very honest about this. और ये जो शमी वाली स्टोरी आई है और जो हमने इतनी सारी उस पर बात की थी, we talked about it on TOI's Beyond the Boundary, आप लोगों ने न्यूज़ भी लिखी है उस पर. That has impacted the thinking. आपको मालूम है कि सिराज, आकाशदीप और जसप्रीत बुमराह आपके लीड पेसर्स होने वाले हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर, ठीक है? You know that. Now it's a matter of, do you want to play all three in this series in every match? So they have gone with that mindset कि हम अपने bowlers rotate करेंगे. In this match, they decided कि okay, you know what, we'll not play Akashdeep. In the next match, they probably will not play Siraj. In third match, or in the next match, they will not play Bumrah, and then third match they'll play Bumrah and not Siraj. So they are rotating these three fast bowlers. I'll be very surprised if they don't, and that's where your spinner comes on. और आप देखना इन तीनों टेस्ट मैचेस में आपको स्पिन फ्रेंडली विकेट्स मिलेंगी. The reason why both captains wanted to bat first after winning the toss without looking up, they were looking down. ये पिच कैसी है, इस पे टर्न है, ड्राई होगा, और वो हमें दिख रहा है. It's just that we have been blown away completely by 46 all out. We've been blown away completely by what Rachin Ravindra and Tim Southee did today. Having said that, सिराज का अगर मैं एक बात कहूं, I think Siraj hasn't been bowling well for a particular time period now. There are a lot of people I know who are big fans of Siraj. A lot of supporters from the Virat Kohli fan club support support Siraj. I don't think he's been bowling well for a particular period of time now. It's just that he is getting that seniority in the Indian bowling, and Indian team management has always been reluctant to drop players for performance. Okay, so from that perspective, I think Siraj just needs to look at the way he's bowling overall. He has moments. Spell hoti hai beech beech mein when he's absolutely beautifully bowling. Lekin I don't think Siraj
Not
is at the
consistent
top of
enough,
his
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Chetan. I think we did have that conversation when we were doing that semi-final at the Wankhede, where we were discussing how Siraj kind of turns a different switch on when he's playing against Sri Lanka. But otherwise, even the World Cup was a very flat outing for him. I think he was by far India's most underwhelming bowler during that ODI World Cup. Nitin, on the bowling front,
Sahil, just one thing. This comment has been said. People forget the rain-induced excess moisture. That is all fine. Excess moisture. Uh, Uncut grass which was shaved off after 46 all out. आपको बता दूं मैं, मैच स्टार्ट होने के बाद कोई भी
the
शेविंग ऑफ
ghas
नहीं
nahi
होती,
karta. Yeah,
कोई भी घास
just
नहीं करती
rollers.
है. दिस इज अ वेरी इल इन्फॉर्म्ड कमेंट, ठीक है? बैड जजमेंट, यस, रोहित शर्मा एडमिटेड टू दैट, लेकिन मैच शुरू होने के बाद आप पिच पे कुछ भी शेव ऑफ नहीं कर सकते हो.
Yeah, over to you, Nitin. Siraj and the combination, whether we kind of got the combination right for this surface, just keeping that first star out of the picture, and Siraj over Akashdeep.
I think Siraj should have played. Siraj is a wonderful bowler. Don't forget, he won us a Test match in Cape Town, a venue which India has never done well in, where South Africa were bowled out for 55.
Yeah,
I think he bowled well. I think that he induced that edge of Latham, which unfortunately KL Rahul could not spot.
yeah,
And even today, I think he had those couple of spells. It's just that once they started going for it,
yeah.
they just attacked him, and kudos to them. Yeah, they just connected some brilliant shots. Siraj, I think he's he's a wonderfully skilled bowler, and he should play. He should play.
What, you still okay with three spinners?
For this pitch, yes. But
Okay.
once, what the problem that happened was that first hour. I think Rohit never expected that it will get overcast again because at toss time there was sun out,
Yeah,
and as soon as
yeah,
the toss got over, it became overcast and the wicket kind of stayed damp, and I think that kind of fooled him. It was almost that 2003 World Cup final thing, that when the toss happened, it was overcast,
yeah.
and that's what prompted Ganguly to field first against Australia, and which proved to be a disaster.
No, no, I just want to pick your brains, Nitin. You have covered a lot of cricket. You see a lot of cricket. You know your numbers like it's fun, right? So three spinners. You've seen captains operating with three quicks, four quicks. How difficult is it to ensure that you make optimum utilization of your three tweakers, especially when they are of the quality of Ashwin, Jadeja, and Kuldeep? Three of them very different from each other, very different mindset as well. So how has handling of Rohit been with the three spinners, and how much of a task is it for any captain to kind of make sure that the three spinners as you are used at the right time and during the right passage of play?
Ranchi, Dharamshala, he handled them brilliantly against England, against a very,
Yeah,
very good batting lineup. It's just that
yeah,
once you're all out for 46, I mean,
yeah,
it's very easy to lose your plot in the field. You become defenseless. Once a couple of boundaries go, you're always looking at the scoreboard, and
yeah.
Yeah,
you're just clueless. I mean, you can't do much once you're all out for 46. It's a very steep road back, irrespective of what happens tomorrow.
Yeah. No, steep road back, yes. And when the innings started, India were left with kind of a mountain to climb, but they've covered some distance there, Dwightman. Now with the start which we got, I think two of those dismissals kind of we wouldn't have wanted. Rohit Sharma, unfortunate to get out in the way he did. He had that look of disbelief written all over his face. The dugout was kind of the dressing room, I would say rather, was stunned because the start was good. We were looking good for a big total, especially you know when Rohit gets his eye in, he doesn't throw it away that often in Test cricket. And Dwaipan, so what do you make of India's batting now? It was much needed, right? Otherwise, that 46 was a severe dent on the confidence of the players, and you don't really want to be in that kind of mindset even against this New Zealand attack before taking on Australia. I'm not going too far ahead, but even in the context of the series, it would have allowed New Zealand to come on top of you, and now this batting ensures that the headspace is right as we look at a very exciting day four.
Absolutely fantastic batting performance in the second innings. 49 overs, 231 for three. Under
Yeah,
that pressure on that pitch, it's incredible batting. See, sporting teams across disciplines sometimes get into a mind space where they believe they cannot lose from anywhere. This Indian team somehow has got into that space, especially when they are playing in India. They believe they cannot lose. So 350 run lead on that pitch. It's just a, it should have been a like waiting game as to when the game gets over. Today afternoon or tomorrow morning, and now we are looking at like maybe India win is probably an exaggeration, but I'm telling you, if India cross 350 with Rishabh Pant at the crease, then we have a chance. If India get a lead of 125 on this pitch, then get Ravindra and get Conway. New Zealand
yeah,
doesn't have the batting to get 125 to 140 on this pitch. In the fourth innings against this Indian attack, it was a
yeah,
tremendous batting performance, like incredible batting performance, like the way they batted, fearless, absolute
yeah,
fearlessness. That's what stood out. And uh, like I don't want to get into the very grammar of it, but just the attitude of the team. And Virat is obviously, let's not better not to discuss about Virat. It's genius. And but Sarfaraz, yes, he was excellent. He showed that he's coming into the test match with form. It was the bounce wasn't disconcerting. It wasn't coming at a pace, so that was fine for him. He plays spinners very well. Those ferocious sweeps that he played, back to back sixes that changed the
yeah.
momentum. So there are a lot of positives from this batting performance, and I hope we get to that 350 with at least 4 wickets in hand and
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant or Ravindra Jadeja at the crease. Then you see it's a game. It's a I don't want to say they will win or not, but it will be even if
Game
India
on.
lose by
Yeah.
if India lose by 5 wickets in this match, that is also a fantastic match after getting all out for
Yeah,
46.
absolutely. Let's have that Sarfaraz Khan graphic up again because I was hearing Ravi Shastri on commentary and he said it's going to be a very popular 50. And when you talk about Sarfaraz, no matter what he does, I still remember when he walked out to bat for his Test debut. I was fortunate enough to cover that game for the ground. I was sitting right behind the bowler's arm. The kind of reception he got when he walked in, he's definitely a very popular figure. And I remember sitting with Sriram Veera. I'm sure all of you would have covered some sort of cricket with him, and he mentioned, "यार जावेद मियांदाद वाला vibe देता है जब ये आता है मतलब इतना popular अभी से ही हो गया है without even playing that much cricket at the highest level." Chetan, what do you make of Sarfaraz Khan? Yes, he's very popular. The celebrations they kind of keep changing. Very viral on Instagram already, reach over 1 million. And KL Rahul, Sarfaraz Khan, that discussion and that debate. I know it's kind of unfair to do that, but वो होगा तो सही यार. Now that he has got runs under his belt again, which that habit he's not letting go of that habit of scoring runs. And mind you, if he scores 100, the habit which he has, his hundreds are hardly and rarely the smaller hundreds. He knows how to score those daddy hundreds.
Well, to talk about the daddy hundred, matlab, scoring a daddy hundred in Ranji cricket is very different than scoring a daddy hundred on an international level. Having said that, of course, he knows how to do it. तो उसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. You talk about somebody like a Virat Kohli. I remember in the initial stage of his Test career, he used to talk even for half of his Test career. He used to talk about getting a daddy hundred. जब तक विराट का पहला डबल हंड्रेड नहीं लगा था, we always used to talk about it. And somebody like a Virat Kohli, to score big daddy hundreds on the international stage, it took a learning process. It took a steep curve to go there. So as much as Sarfaraz can do it, international cricket very different from Ranji yaar. So let's not get carried away. Let's stay in the moment. Let's not keep our fingers crossed that way. जहाँ तक कैरेक्टर की बात है, you know um, I think this is what Indian cricket is. The fandom of Indian cricket is, and we love we love a dark horse. We love an underdog. We love to back heroes. We love to find new heroes. और जो भी narrative बन गया था सरफराज खान को लेके, you know, before his debut, he had to wait such a long time. He was scoring runs. We love our statistics. हमें statistics पे बात करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So, from that perspective, I think a lot of expectation and story narrative, was built around Sarfaraz Khan. So, for him to go on, make a debut, it became a storied debut, with his father there, tears of joy, etc., etc. And then, of course, he's backed it. England came against, he scored those runs. The way he plays his cricket is very exciting, gets those shots in and everything. So, it's an underdog story for me. It's a narrative that was built by nobody else, by the Indian cricket fan, because they recognize their heroes here. And I think this is Sarfaraz is a celebration of the Indian cricket fan. I would say the passion the Indian cricket fan has for their cricketers who are toiling away even in Ranji cricket. So yani jo aapki performance, it's a big example, yeah. If you're performing in Ranji cricket, the Indian cricket fan, as much as they're fighting for Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli and everything, they're still noticing your performance and they are helping build that narrative, helping build that story. So from that perspective, yeah, he's very popular. Uh, the flip side is इसका एक negative side भी है. तो जितना popularity आपका ऊपर जाएगा उतनी जल्दी आपका नीचे भी आ जाता है. So as long as he keeps scoring those runs, he'll remain popular and he'll get that long row. हम लोग जब भी बात करते हैं, we are seeing comments on Sarfaraz की should he play ahead of KL Rahul and everything. क्योंकि इंडियन क्रिकेट फैन ने डिसाइड कर लिया कि केएल राहुल इज अ विलन फिगर ना, कुछ भी कर ले वो, ठीक है, वो 100 बॉल पे 200 बना देगा ना, लोग बोलेंगे कि भाई 90 बॉल पे क्यों नहीं बनाया. इट्स दैट काइंड ऑफ अ नैरेटिव अराउंड केएल राहुल. सो this is a celebration of the Indian cricket fan, how the Indian cricket fan cheers on its heroes. But like I said, जितनी जल्दी ऊपर जाते हो उतनी जल्दी नीचे भी आते हो. So let's keep that aside for the moment. Sarfaraz Khan, brilliant story. And I agree with a couple of comments here. He's taken the pressure off Kohli. Kohli was going great guns. He was scoring at a
Yeah.
good pace. He was looking like the Kohli of old. क्योंकि pace भी था, spin भी था. He was attacking, getting those boundaries, getting that sixes. हमने बात की थी ना कि RCB effect, ठीक है? तो RCB effect विराट कोहली पे ज्यादा अप्लाई होता है rather than somebody like a Mohammad Siraj, you know. So from
Yeah.
that perspective, Kohli was playing with a free mind. It was really good to watch, and having somebody at the other end. I remember Virat Kohli's some of the best knocks that Virat Kohli has played. At the other end, he's had a partner जो कहते हैं ना ताल से ताल मिलाता है. I remember one of the best partnerships I've seen with Kohli is Ajinkya Rahane in Melbourne 2014. जिस तरीके से उन्होंने counter attack किया था Boxing Day Test में. So he had a partner at the other end in Sarfaraz who was punching above his weight. He was punching back against the bowling. So brilliant passage of play for India. I think the best passage of play for India in this test match, but we are too far behind. If Sarfaraz can just go on batting, he needs the help that he provided Virat Kohli today. You know, if he can get that help from KL Rahul, I don't know how fit Rishabh Pant is, you know, and we want
He
him
was
fit.
padded up. He was padded up, and
Cool.
I
So,
spoke. I had a word with Manuja. She was there in the press box.
okay.
He was facing throwdowns during the tea break and very
Okay.
popular 10-15
So,
period.
and we
So
know how
he
Rishabh
should
Pant
be
bats,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he should be okay.
and we know how Rishabh Pant bats. So if he
Yeah,
bats the way he bats, and Sarfaraz is batting the way he bats, it could be another big partnership. So you never know what really happens. और अभी
yeah.
से ही देख रहे हो आप कि केएल राहुल के ऊपर कितने सारे कमेंट्स आने शुरू हो गए हैं. Like so, it's the narrative of the Indian cricket fan. So yeah, all best wishes to Sarfaraz and to KL Rahul because I think he can be a clutch batsman too.
Nitin, I think this ODI World Cup knock के comment हटा दो यार अब हो गया वो ODI World Cup. So Nitin, just to you've seen Sarfaraz punching above his weight. From the Maidans to the Chinnaswamy Stadium. On my left, when he made his debut, was Gaurav Gupta, and probably you have heard a lot of Sarfaraz Khan stories from him because he still remains Sarfaraz Khan's fan number one. That's the kind of fan following I would say Sarfaraz Khan has. But this 50, he got out for a duck, and he probably wouldn't have played this test had Shubman Gill not had that stiff neck. और अभी अगर शुभमन recover हो जाता है, you could well as well see Sarfaraz Khan out if KL Rahul also manages to score runs. So to do that over and over again when you know that you won't be getting that consistent run in the Indian team, it speaks volumes about the kind of mindset he has and how he has been trained from his formative years.
Yeah. Chetan just spoke about narratives around Sarfaraz Khan, and he spoke about his father Naushad. Uh, you bet that yesterday night he would have got a dressing down on the
Yeah,
phone from Naushad for the shot that he played, and he
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he would
absolutely.
have given it to him for the shot that he played, and obviously the way he batted today, he's a brilliant player against spin bowling. I
yeah,
mean, I've seen even at Wankhede and some of the knocks in domestic cricket. I mean, he just loves to play those little dabs, those sweep shots that he plays in front of square. He knows what he can do, and he knows what he can't do. So in terms of shot selection, he's very pakka बोलते हैं तैयार player, and that's why I was very surprised with the kind of shot that he played in the first inning.
yeah.
It was almost as if the wicket and the amount of seam movement had got into his head, and he pre-decided नहीं मैं मार के खेलूंगा. Whereas I think he has enough skill in him to
Yeah.
ride that spell out, and he could have continued. But anyway, what's gone is gone. Tomorrow is a new day, and if he and Pant can maybe see through lunch, I think we may have a test match on hand.
No, yes. Looking ahead to the test now, last final comments from all of you before we kind of close this session. Dwaipan, I'll come to you first. What would be an ideal day for India? Let's not talk about the session. Where would you want India to be when stumps are called tomorrow? First you, then Chetan, then we'll close with Nitin.
The
Wishful
test,
thinking.
ah, the,
Your wishful thinking can also apply to New Zealand. You can
yeah,
also speak for New Zealand.
yeah. See, if it doesn't rain, the test match will probably get over tomorrow, and
Okay.
obviously, I I would love to see India win, but for that to happen, as we had been discussing, the score has that 350 plus deficit has to be crossed with 4 to 5 wickets in hand, and with one of either Rishabh Pant or, as you said, Sarfaraz Khan in the middle. I would say Rishabh Pant is the more important player, because once he goes nuts with those shots, like, the opposition doesn't know where to bowl, what to do, pacers, spinners, nothing works. So, if Rishabh Pant is there, getting in the flow, and we get past 350, there is a chance. There is a chance. 150 lead. That about 125 to 150 lead is what we need, and then 150 on this track should be very, very, very difficult. Like, New Zealand has to bat really well to get 150. I will be
Yeah.
surprised if they get 150 on this pitch in the fourth innings.
Yeah. So Rishabh Pant remains a very key player. Gaurav Gupta has done enough to affect his concentration off the field by breaking the story that DC are not likely to retain him as captain from 2025 season. Chetan, coming to you, Rishabh Pant. Yes, a lot is happening off the field as far as IPL retentions are concerned. Yesterday, that was, I had my heart in my mouth there when he had that blow on the right knee. We all know the kind of damage that knee endured for the last couple of years. Now, coming out to bat with still something left to be done on the knee. I'm sure he's not 100%. The swelling would have subsided by now, but he's coming out to bat again. Rishabh Pant, the pressure is again on him. He has been in a situation like this before. With the bat, what do you expect out of him?
First, I'll answer this question. Bumrah already overworked. I don't think he's already overworked, but I think we need to be very careful because we need him fit for the BGT. And I don't know. You were 1-0 up against Bangladesh. Did you really need to play Bumrah in the second Test match? Although ठीक है 3 दिन खेले वो इतना ज़्यादा bowling भी नहीं किया and all of that. So I don't know. I mean, very unnecessary matches he goes on to play and everything. I really hope, and I really don't expect Bumrah to play all 3 Test matches in this series, जैसा मैंने पहले भी कहा था. So I don't think he's overworked, but I really don't want to see Bumrah playing, needless matches. 1-0 lead हो जाती है ना जब 2 मैच सीरीज में बुमराह को मत खिलाओ, हो गया. क्योंकि होम सीरीज में you have enough bowlers to win matches, especially against opponents like Bangladesh, etc. ये सीरीज अब आप 1-0 अगर यहाँ पे पीछे हो जाओगे तब आपको बुमराह खिलाना पड़ेगा बाकी 2 टेस्ट में, because you have to win. He's your main weapon. आपको खिलाना पड़ेगा, आपको वो weapon use करना पड़ेगा. So yeah, let's see. Now answering the question, मैं थोड़ा सा disagree करूंगा द्वापायन से. I agree that Rishabh Pant is key. In a lot of comments, I absolutely agree Rishabh Pant is key, but I think KL Rahul is more important tomorrow. Okay, let's create
Chetan is just setting a narrative here. He's just anti-Sarfaraz. He's just setting a KL narrative.
No. I'm not anti-Sarfaraz. Come on, यार. अभी तो मैंने उसके बारे में बोला. Let's set a narrative for KL Rahul tomorrow. मैंने पहले भी बोला है शो पे. He's a clutch player. ठीक है. We still have 125 runs to go. Rishabh Pant will be Rishabh Pant when those 125 का lead is gone. जब वो 125 का lead चला जाएगा ना, then Rishabh Pant comes and gets that quick 50-60 and India's lead swells to 150-170. That is when New Zealand will get frustrated, just like India was getting frustrated today. That is the only scenario where India wins this test match. वो 125 रन जो हैं, I want to see KL Rahul and Sarfaraz take care of those 125 runs. And then Pant comes in and scores and, everything. So, so from that I know there's a comment there, KL and clutch. Yes, he's played a lot of clutch innings.
No. Chetan, I think before we kind of close this show, I want एक Nitin का छोटा सा comment. Nitin, why I say that? Because we've got like 3 comments where people are reminding us. People are reminding us that it's 19th tomorrow. It's the 19th tomorrow.
These are things that don't really matter.
Yeah, Chetan, complete, and then we'll let Nitin have the last word.
Let's not be harsh. He's somebody who should not think too much. That is the only thing I would say about KL Rahul. So my point here is tomorrow KL Rahul is equally important, if not any more. And then once you get past that 125, then Rishabh Pant does what he does. That is the only scenario that I see India winning this test match. Okay. Having said that, we are too far behind 46 all out ke baad, you really should not be expecting to win test matches. I'll be very surprised if India wins this test match.
Okay, Chetan will be surprised. He wants KL Rahul to score. Nitin, what do you have to say?
I think
Final
though,
word
but
before we kind of call it
KL
a day. Yeah,
KL Rahul I think will bat at number 6. So I think tomorrow I think
yeah. Even
Rishabh
I
will come
think
in.
that left, right. Yeah,
Rishabh will come in, and I think if Rishabh and Sarfaraz can erase this deficit, and then KL by the time the second new ball comes, that's when KL can be counted upon. KL along with the lower order, he has a great knack of batting well with the lower order. We saw that in South Africa,
yeah,
and he has the game to switch gears if at all we are in a position where we need some quick runs. It's too far away. 125 runs is still a long way away, and
yeah.
you're just a couple of wickets away from a collapse. So, fingers crossed. We need this Sarfaraz and Rishabh to
Yeah.
erase this deficit, and then I think we can have some fun.
No, man.
Sahil,
I'm certainly.
I will
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
add
Please
one
go ahead.
point. I will be very keen to see what roller India uses tomorrow. Like generally, if you use the heavy roller, then the pitch
Yeah,
becomes slightly benign for the first 1 hour. Today we saw New Zealand
yeah,
using the light roller because they know that they have to bat fourth in this innings. So if India
yeah,
takes the heavy roller, uses the
yeah,
first hour to get some quick runs, and that
yeah.
in effect that also breaks the pitch later also quickly. So that is a that roller thing. I'll be very keen to see what roller they take tomorrow in the morning. That is one thing.
Interesting.
And another, yeah, and another point, another player that you guys are probably missing with the bat is Ravindra Jadeja can also have that Rishabh Pant effect from time to time. If yeah,
Still
like he
and
also,
still 30 overs to go before the new ball comes through. So these
yeah,
guys
yeah.
have
So
about
they
30
are
overs.
30 overs to go for the new ball.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Can't really,
Yeah.
Dwaipan can't really leave a CSK player out. For all the viewers watching, he has done a story for TimesOf where he has mentioned that Ravindra Jadeja and Ruturaj Gaikwad may get similar pay when the retentions are announced. So if you haven't read that, go log on to TimesOf We'll keep bringing you more updates when it comes to IPL retentions. A lot is in store, but for now, our focus is on the test match. We'll be taking a break for a couple of days, but you make sure that you keep watching your cricket because Beyond the Boundary will be back on Monday with more updates from the world of cricket and definitely a lot on the IPL retention.
Yeah, looks like Sahil's internet cut out just at the last moment. So let me just finish off by saying, Beyond the Boundary will be back on Monday at 6:30 p.m. We'll be back with a brand new show Monday to Friday. We'll be talking everything about the world of cricket. From me, from Sahil, from Nitin and Dwapayan, it's a goodbye for now. Goodbye, and thank you guys for joining us today. And
Thank you.
and of course, thanks to all our viewers who chipping in with their comments and with their participation in the show. We'll see you all next week. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.